All right, everybody, we got some Seattle Seahawks breaking news, and of course, it comes literally 30 seconds after I post a video. But the news strikes when it strikes, and all you can do is be ready to talk about it. The Seattle Seahawks have made a signing, and it is an offensive lineman. Now, it's probably not the offensive lineman that you were thinking about or hoping for, but it is an offensive lineman, and this is worth talking about. It is far from the thing that we need to bring this off season together in the right way, but it is an important part of the big picture that we needed to have in some way, shape, or form. Josh Jones, most recently of the Baltimore Ravens, 1 year, up to $4.75 million. This video is powered by BetUS. So let's talk about Josh Jones for a minute here. He's never been a full-time starter, by which I mean he's never had a season where he started every game, but he has played a decent amount of football in the past. Not so much recently, but this guy has been a important part of some NFL offensive lines in the last couple of years. I actually remember Josh Jones from the draft in 2020. I remember scouting him and being interested in him. He actually went, I believe, 3 picks after we picked Damian Lewis, and there was some debate over whether or not that was the correct pick or not. It seems like it was, but Josh Jones has remained in the NFL since then as well. And the incentives here, because there's a implied incentive element here, 1 year deal worth up to $4.75 million, according to Rappaport. You would figure the incentives would tie into playing time. Josh Jones is almost certainly being signed as a backup because he is by and large a tackle. So if Cross and Lucas stay healthy, then Josh Jones doesn't play, and if there are playtime incentives, he doesn't hit them. So I'll be interested to see how that contract breaks out. For now, all we know, it's worth up to $4.75 million. That may end up being the relevant number for the cap. We don't know. But let's keep in mind here that the actual meaningful number for us might be a little bit lower than this. That's usually how this works. You wouldn't expect Josh Jones to be a starter here. Okay, so Josh Jones, you go to his PFR page. First thing you might notice is they list him as being almost 340 pounds. I don't think that's true. I looked at other sites. They have him a lot slimmer than that, so I don't think he's 340. He doesn't look like it to me, not that that really means anything. He's going to turn 28 in June. Like I said, third round pick in 2020. And he's been on 3 teams. He spent 3 years in Arizona. Actually was a part-time starter 2 of those years. Was in Houston last year. Played a little bit. And then he played very little in Baltimore in 2024. So without getting too granular into every single element of his career so far, if we go to PFF and we say, okay, PFF, we're going to put a little bit of trust in you to get this right and correctly evaluate things, even though I'm starting to wonder if PFF understands outside zone stuff as well as they understand other stuff. Like just a theory I have. It seems like there's some things they don't grasp well. I wonder if the outside zone stuff is something they struggle with. If you go to his most recent year, he barely played. When he did play, it was all left tackle or right tackle and, well, tight end, but that's obviously a little bit different. And they graded him very poorly. Not that we care because it's not even 50 snaps. Before I go any further, though, I do want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS. Football season's over, but you can still head on over there, bet on futures for things like Coach of the Year, MVP. You can bet on stuff that's going to happen in the next NFL season. You can bet on stuff for the draft, who's going to be Mr. Irrelevant. You can bet on hockey. You can bet on basketball. Soon you're going to be able to bet on baseball. You're going to be able to do all kinds of fun stuff on BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit bonus on your next deposit up to $2,000 and a 125% deposit bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Get over to BetUS, give them a shot, check them out, and see what is going on with your sports betting destiny. Okay, so Josh Jones, like I said, last year barely played. The year before that, he played a little bit more, a few hundred snaps. Graded poorly, again, 49.3. Not really graded well in any area. A lot of penalties for a guy who didn't play that much. Mostly played left tackle, played a little bit of right tackle, and also played a little bit of left guard. All right, so this was with Houston last year. If you go back to 2022 when he was a Cardinal, this is the best season that he's had so far. Graded quite well, actually graded at a high level. At this point, Arizona probably thought maybe they had something with this guy. And 600 plus snaps, that's meaningful. I will say there were a lot of penalties, and there were also a decent number of sacks. But on the whole, on a snap-to-snap basis, he seemed to play quite well. And it was basically all left tackle. It was basically 100% left tackle. You had 8 snaps at right tackle, and you had 4 snaps at tight end. So if you look at recent history, it's pretty clear that this guy is largely meant to be a Charles Cross backup with some swing ability from left to right. So if you were wondering who the backup for Cross would be, and we needed one, unless you've trusted Mike Jarrell, we have him now. However, if you go back to 2021, and I know this was a while ago, you will find a lot of right guard. He played over 600 snaps at right guard in 2021 and over 200 at right tackle. Now, if you believe in PFF grading, he did not play very well at all. He was one of the worst in the league. Ton of penalties, a decent number of sacks given up. So I don't know if this is something you should get excited about. At the same time, though, when you're talking about a player that is not like a stud, when you're talking about a player that is not like some big-time, big shot who just has all the skills, has all the tools, and he's got it all figured out, if you're jerking him around a lot and you're moving him from the left side to the right side to tackle to guard, you wouldn't necessarily expect them to be able to handle that all that well, right? You would expect them to make a lot of mistakes because they're already working from a limited pool of ability and talent, and now you're just jerking them around in ways that make their life harder. So I don't know how harshly I want to judge him for that, but it is worth noting he can play some guard. He has, at least. Maybe not terribly well. It seems to me that he's ultimately meant to play left tackle, and he is meant to be a backup left tackle to Charles Cross. So not too bad. Nothing really wrong with it. We'll see exactly what the actual cap hit is. It probably won't be exactly 4.75, probably slightly less. Just a little bit less. So, yeah, there you go. Let me know what you guys think. If anything, I know this is not exactly an earth-shattering move. This is not exactly something that is going to drastically change our perception on this offseason. But getting a swing tackle, even if he's mostly a left tackle, a swing tackle, was something we needed to do, unless Mike Jarrell was ready, and I don't expect him to be ready, and I don't think anybody should. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Go ahead and sound off down below, and yep, another video coming later today, actually, and then tomorrow we're off to the races.